The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. At that time, Jesus went to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias. And a multitude followed him because they saw the signs which he did on those who were with diseases. Jesus went up into the hills and there sat down with his disciples. Now the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was at hand. Lifting up his eyes then, and seeing that a multitude was coming to him, Jesus said to Philip, "How are we to buy bread so that these people may eat?" This he said to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 denarii would not buy enough bread for each of them to get a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are they among so many?" Jesus said, "Make the people sit down." Now there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down in number above 5,000. Jesus then took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to those who were seated. So also the fish, as much as they wanted. And when they had eaten their fill, he told his disciples, "Gather up the fragments left over, that nothing may be lost." So they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves left by those who had eaten. When the people saw the sign which he had done, they said, "This is indeed the prophet who is to come into the world." Perceiving then that they were about to come and take him by force to make him king, Jesus withdrew again to the hill by himself. The Gospel of the Lord. God is good, and all the time. In the first reading, we have this guy again called Gamaliel. And we have the Sanhedrin, who are also called the officials of the church. And when they want to put down the apostles, they do not follow the law. They create their own law. Because Gamaliel reminds them, "Hey, you children of Israel, you don't remember our law." The first one was, you cannot persecute people before you put them to trial. That has also happened in our country and in many countries, where people are arrested and they were put to jail, or they were done bad things even before their trial was heard. But Gamaliel, bringing these people, we see that when people want to do something and they are coming together, they want to create a conspiracy, they create a story, and they go away from the law. They create their own law. Because what Gamaliel has used is one type of passing judgment that is called casuistry. Casuistry is judging a case with another previous case. So he reminds them of other men who had done the same thing, and they were put to shame because they were not following God. Sometimes we judge people because we do not want them. And we have talked about this before and said, one way of putting people down today without judgment is telling them they are showing off. Stop showing off this Christ you are proclaiming. And we said that when someone tells you you're showing off, first of all, philosophically, it's a good thing. When someone tells you you're showing off, philosophically, it's very good because they are starting from a point of you have something to show off. That means there is a good. But when there is lack, that is evil. If you have nothing to show off, what if you are showing off what God has endowed you with? Instead of praising God for what they see in you that is surpassing the normal doing of things from every other human beings, then they should be happy that God has blessed you. In our today's gospel reading, it's a very funny gospel, but most of us will always concentrate on the feeding of the 5,000 men. But guys, kihe namigate na thamaki. How? A boy from morning up to the evening, a lad, yani ameenda kulisha ng'ombe na amekaa na mikate kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni. And you know boys and food, boys and bread. That boy had stayed with the bread from morning until evening. 2, where do you get 5,000 men to be preached to? Nikiama. Kuona arũme 5,000 ũmaikarie thĩ ũmahunjĩrie. It's a miracle. 3, and this is the most funny thing, is that 5,000 men sitting down to eat the food of a that's the most funny thing, that arũme 5,000 maikaire thĩ marĩ irio cia you know, that's also a miracle, that people would sit down and eat and be fed by a boy. 2 out of 4, this bread is not the normal bread. Ni mugate wa shairi, bread from barley. And this was only eaten by poor people and, sorry to say, the prostitutes. It was bread for the anawims. That means a poor person was feeding a throng of people. Jesus, though he was poor, he fed the whole humanity. He died and fed his body to the whole humanity. And until today, he is still feeding him. That guy, that poor guy from Galilee. Yesterday, I want to say this. The bishops released a letter addressing the nation. And one of the things they said is about our education. One of the things that I said, men were eating the bread from the boy. Sometimes we might eat the foods from the children so early before it benefits everybody. And that's what we have, because more of in this gospel is a gospel of generosity. And what the bishops wrote is what our nation is talking about through Philip. We do not have money to pay the doctors. We do not have money to pay the teachers. That is Philip. We do not say that they are not children of God. Philip was also a follower of Christ. But there comes an Andrew, the brother to Peter, who says, okay, we do not have that much money, yes, but at least we have some few breads. We are collecting some few coins in taxes. Why don't we tell these people to sit down and have an agreement, and everybody will benefit? So as the bishop talks to us, the gospel also today, miraculously, or by God's default, is talking to us. That whatever we have, however much it's small, it's enough for everybody. We are supposed to share equitably, and we will all have our fill and our needs satisfied. And we will have some left over. But if we want to keep what we have, like Philip, 200 denaries, none of us will benefit. Let us join the bishops and pray for our country and pray also for ourselves. Twihoere ithuĩ ene. Tũtuĩke atana. tutuike andu ouma andu. You know, kiria uri nakio ti kinini. Tutige kuira. Tondu kindu kiria ona Andrew akiripoti kuri Yesu augire kwina kihi. Already hari na uirano. Kihi mbere ya athuri, na athuri nio maheaga ihĩ irio. Then uge kuri na irio cia kihi. You know, it is ni uirano. Tukaira kiria kinini Ngai atuhete, tukaga irathimo cia Ngai hari kiu kinini atuhete. Hindi iria tuoya kiria Ngai atuhete, o uria kiri kinini, ni akirathimaga na gigatuika gia kirathimo na gigateithia andu aingi. No riria twaira kiria Ngai atuhete, gutiri kirathimo tukona. Rekei tucokagirie Ngai ngatho ni kiria atuhete na tuhote kugayana kiu kinini twina gikeno. Tumukumie Yesu Kristo.